Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions to the worlds of TV, film, news, sports, lifestyle, everything really depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. All social media, you know me as PD Beats. March 26th on Disney Plus, The Mighty Ducks Game Changers is going to be dropped, and we are speaking to someone who you will see hitting the ice. We are speaking to Swayam Bhatia about this. Sway, welcome to Popternative.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I mean, it's calm before the storm. It's almost time for the show to be dropped. How exciting is it for you?
This is so exciting. I mean, getting to see all the work that we've done and to see its final product, I think everybody on the cast is so excited, and I'm so excited to see, especially all the hockey shots with all the angles that they have and all the cool fast movements that we've done with the shots. I think it's going to be really exciting to see the final product.
Now, I'm just curious because, I understand talking to your other cast members, there was some hockey training involved, when you got the role. What was your familiarity with the sport before the Mighty Ducks? Did you know a little bit about hockey? Did you know about the Mighty Ducks? What was that like for you, Sway?
Yeah, for me, I used to be a figure skater, so a lot of people recommended the movie to me. So as soon as I got the audition, I went on my TV and I put on the Mighty Ducks and I watched it right away, and I got instantly hooked. It is such a good franchise, and I love the whole storyline of bringing the underdog team to the championships. I think that is such an empowering storyline, and I was so honored to find I booked the role because, we're bringing back such a big legacy and franchise, and the storyline is so important to highlight the underdogs, and I'm so excited to bring this whole legacy into a new series of new underdogs, and for me, my character isn't necessarily an underdog, but she's a good hockey player, so you will see that in the show. And honestly, I'm just so excited to see the final product. And for me, I saw the movie right away, and I was so inspired by Gordon Bombay, and getting to work with Emilio Estevez now is absolutely crazy. The whole cast loves him. He's such a sweet and humble person, and he was just so welcoming and welcoming us into the Mighty Ducks legacy.
It's interesting because everything you said, is focusing on the hockey, but the Mighty Ducks Game Changers way is a little bit of like a tale of two shows a little bit, because you have the hockey component, but there's a lot of other kind of themes and important things about it, fitting in, relationship, character growth and everything. Have you ever thought about that dynamic a little bit? Like it's a hockey show, but then it's not really a hockey show. It's about way more than that, right? It's interesting.
Exactly. That's what I love about our show especially, is that everybody's going to expect it to be like, oh, it's hockey, hockey, hockey. But no, yes, hockey is a big part of it, and a lot of the other things come from hockey. But there's so many other things we highlight. It's just like everyday kid life and teenage life that people will be able to relate to. Even if they don't like hockey, there's storylines that they can relate to it, like getting a bad grade on a test, or I don't know, getting late for class, or with just talking with somebody in the hallway, because that's something you do. I think there's a lot of storylines that are in there that you're going to relate to, even if because I know there's a lot of friends that I have aren't on a Mighty Ducks team, or aren't on a hockey team that is an underdog team. But I think a lot of people will be able to relate to many storylines, and I hope young girls, especially young girls of color, will be able to relate to my character, because she kind of almost breaks stereotypes for a girl that looks like
Yes, that's huge that you brought that up. Absolutely. No, that is amazing. And it's really exciting to see all of that in one show. It's really all put in there, Sway. Everything's in there.
I know, because it's amazing that we have 10 episodes to really get this whole storyline across, which we're all so excited that we get to have those 10 episodes and those 30-minute episodes or whatever, but we still almost feel like it's not enough. There's always never enough to get a whole storyline across, so we hope in season 2 we can get more across if we have one. We all just love being on the ice and being and playing hockey and playing all these characters. I think all of us relate to our characters in a way. I love that she, you know, she's an empowering girl, and she deals with all these pressures and from her
Yeah.
parents that force her to get A pluses and force her to win because that's all they think it's about. And I think she has this pressure where she's a little afraid of her parents in a way. And some people might not be able to relate to that exactly where their parents want them to go to Harvard, but there's some point where everybody has these insecurities, and that's what I love is that her character's not censored in a way. There's real life in there. She's not like a perfect girl. She has insecurities, and that's I'm so thankful that they highlight that.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now because they're going to watch the show and they're going to be introduced to your character and your parents in the show, right? And I worked in hockey rinks for most of my life, Sway, okay? I'm just saying that exists. Like, I'm just letting you know.
Oh my god,
That
the whole
is,
like
yeah,
hockey clinics and like college counselors at like the age of 12.
it
I don't
exists.
understand it, but apparently that's real life.
It is crazy. It's interesting too. One of my favorite kind of things is the anticipation's always like insane because, you know, we knew about this show for a long time. Even if we didn't know about like certain like we didn't know about a lot of the cast members. Like it was announced that they were doing this, then it was announced that Emilio was attached. Then you found out Lauren Graham was coming on. Then they announced you yourself and all your other castmates, then a poster. So it was just like a sprinkling like of like information, right? And I think the final kind of like the teaser and then the final trailer, I think really like was kind of like a weight of everyone's shoulder. Like finally, like we're getting some more. You know what I mean? What was it like? Your family and friends reception when the first like trailer came out, Sway?
I think when the first like
Because there's the teaser, right? Where
yeah.
Gordon's like, you're gonna get your skates, they're up front, right? But then there's actually like a longer one, right?
I love the trailer. I think it really highlights every character and what they're going to talk about in the show. Because I feel like almost in the teaser, it's just like, okay, it's about hockey. It's bringing back the Mighty Ducks. Emilio, Lauren Graham, let's go. While in the trailer, it's like, okay, there's this character. There's all these characters that are going to join the underdog team. And then there's this girl, Sophie, who's on this other team. And that's what I really love about it. I think it really highlights what you're going to see in the pilot and what you're going to see. Because I feel like almost the trailer is like a cliffhanger itself, where it's like, okay, this is what the first episode is going to be about. But then what's going to happen with the team? What's going to happen with those other characters? Where is the Mighty Ducks team going to go? And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised that this new Mighty Ducks team is this mean team and they're all about winning, so different from the 1992 team. And that whole highlighting part is that we don't quack, we like fight and we like
And I just want to say, people will watch it, and and like, let's be honest, right? Like, things are on the internet. You know, they can like people see what like the storylines of Sophie, right, and everything. You talked about it. They know what's up. There's an Adam Banks kind of feel to your story as well, a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. That's also something that I really enjoy about our show is that every one of these 8 kids tie in somehow to the original characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tie into Adam Banks because I'm on that original professional team, and you can see in the first episode I have that little knee thing going on with the injuries.
There's so many questions right away. It's like, oh my god.
I know, and that's what I love is that I get to. It's although she's so different from Adam Banks, is that like you see me and you're like, that's not Adam Banks.
Yeah.
But then you really watch the show, you're like,
that's Adam Banks.
That's Adam Banks. And that's exactly what I love about the show so much is that you can't look at them and be like, that's Adam Banks. You have to really watch the show and understand, like, that's what they did. Oh my God, the connections are there. You just really have to like understand and like listen to the show and really watch what's going on. And that's what's so special about it is that it really has a connection without being too obvious.
Absolutely. And you know, the show's going to drop. There's going to be certain things. You see it all the time, right? Like there's going to be like fan favorite moments that are going to happen. I'm calling it right here on Popternative, Sway, okay? Kiefer's character, Logan, that whole thing. I'm just saying.
I know. Yep. That
it's
is
the best.
That is my favorite moment, honestly. His whole like slow-mo hair and the one where he's like Everybody on this show is like so amazing and so funny. We've had so many laughs. The writing, the directing on the show is so amazing.
It feels like the old Mighty Ducks too. Like the look of it, the music, it's gonna have that. People are gonna be excited about that.
When we're filming the scenes and when we do our ADRs and we do our voiceovers for the hockey scenes, it's so much different. You're just seeing the hockey scene, and it's like on mute, and then you voice over it. But now when you see these clips and all the music on top of it and all the editing and everything, it's just so different than just reading the script and you're like, okay, this is gonna happen, then it all comes to life, and it's such an amazing experience.
Now I do have to ask this. You said you grew up figure skating and everything. After being Sophie in the Mighty Ducks, are you interested in maybe playing hockey, rec hockey, and joining a hockey team? Has that happened to you?
For sure. As soon as I had my first 2 weeks of training, as soon as I got to Vancouver, I'm like, Mom, I'm becoming a professional hockey player. I was like, as soon as I get home, I'm getting on the ice. Then COVID happened, all the ice rinks shut. I was like, okay, I'll wait a little. And we got back on the ice. I was like, yeah, I like this. So I hope I can get back on my figure skates and even maybe go forward with hockey because I love the sport.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of like getting pushed down, but it's part of it.
There's non-contact leagues and everything as well. I mean, it's funny. Dylan Playfair, who's a good friend of mine who plays Coach T. I mean, he played hockey all his life and everything, and he said this was like a lifelong dream for him to be part of this project. And it's funny because that's it's interesting too, and he'll say the same thing. There's a lot of things in it that might seem kind of like over exaggerated about the hockey culture, hockey scene, but it's not at all, right? Like those big tournaments that showcase where you're introduced, like that's a thing that exists.
Exactly. I didn't like fully understand hockey because I never was a hockey player. Yep. So it was like, is this what happens? All this light and the music, all this contact stuff, and people like the Ducks. I had a lot of fun filming that scene where we all come out and the flag and all.
With explosions. It's
God,
done.
all the fire things. I'm like, what is going on?
It's interesting. It's exciting because I think this series is gonna have the impacts that I saw Cobra Kai had, where you're gonna have the old fans of the Mighty Ducks, and then you're gonna have the new age fans of the Mighty Ducks. They're new people. That's gonna be kind of cool to see too, right? Sway, the two kind of the two different kind of fans come together, the old fans and the new fans. Have you thought about that?
I've always thought about this. I felt so honored that we get to bring it back for the old people that were big fans of the original movie.
The OG fans, yeah, absolutely.
OG fans, exactly. And now introducing it to a new generation but also what's amazing is that it's such a good storyline, and it's a storyline that needs to be introduced to kids my age and younger. I think it's an important message that will get to empower young people. So now new people will be introduced to it, and that's what's so special about it. And I'm so thankful that I get to be part of it.
What were some learning experiences for you besides the hockey component of it? I want to talk about kind of the craft of acting, like the storytelling aspect of it, Sway. Because obviously you learned a lot with like the hockey training and everything, you know what I mean? But from the acting perspective, like a role like this, like Sophie, who's a very interesting, important character you mentioned for a lot of different reasons. And another thing you'd also mention is she's like the popular great athlete, right? And she's just very kind to everyone. You know what I mean? That's also something not seen all the time too, right?
Exactly.
So what was learning experiences like playing Sophie?
Honestly, I learned so much from her. I almost feel like I became a better person from her almost, and definitely became a better actor. I learned so many things from her. Mm-hmm. And I learned how you can play characters that have so many layers to their personality. And this is my first series regular role, so I learned all about pre-production and post-production, and the directors were asking me for my ideas, and I got to really be part of the whole experience. And that's something I haven't really fully experienced in the shows like Succession and Masters of None.
Yep.
And getting to really play a character that has a proper character description, and it's this, she has so many scenes that she does, and I got to work, every day, and makeup and hair, like we got really close to them and all. It's just a whole different experience when you get to be a series regular and work a lot and be such a big part of it, and really be connected to everything. And I think what's great is that you're really involved in a lot of things that are happening, not only what's happening in the scenes, but sometimes what's happening for your character, and you get to create the character, especially when you originate them.
Yep.
Even though I have a touch of Banks, she's still somebody so new.
Absolutely. I love that you agree with the Adam Banks thing. I love that. That just makes me so
I remember
happy.
Steve Brill came up to us and he was like telling us all who we are, kind of. So yeah, I was supposed to be Adam Banks, and we all have our little.
It's interesting. Let's see if we can figure this out now. I was gonna Nick the Stick, Maxwell's character, little jokester. It's got a little bit of Averman in him.
Averman, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and then it's interesting. I'm trying to think of the others. I'm sure they'll come to me when I watch the series.
Evan's easy. Evan
is Charlie Conway.
Yes, Evan's Charlie Conway.
Well, you'll notice why he's Charlie Conway too, if you know what I mean by that.
Yep. And even what's his name? I'm forgetting my. Okay.
Well, Luke Goldberg, right? The grab and everything.
He looks so similar to him.
But the grab too, it's interesting. I talked to him. That's my favorite part of the trailer, like the grab of the bottle. Because I love that they put that in there.
It's so amazing. Oh my god. Everything he's done to play his character is so good. Like, he's really become that goalie.
Yeah.
I love that. He's just and when he's like supposed to be bad, he's just like, what is going on? He plays it so well.
It's gonna be amazing. I can't wait for everyone to see it. Sway, thank you so much for coming on Popternative.
Thank you. I had so much fun talking to you.
Yeah, so March 26th, it's going to be available on Disney Plus, and everyone's going to be able to see it. And where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything?
On Instagram, I am at Sway_Bhatia, which is SWAY @_BHATIA. And on TikTok, I am Sway_Bhatia with the 1 at the end. I don't know why. It just didn't take my other name.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. March 26th, The Quack Attack is back. The Mighty Ducks Game Changers on Disney Plus. Until next time, this is Swayam Bhatia and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.